I am live. Smile Time says I'm live. Good afternoon, Facebook. Good morning, Facebook, depending on where you are in the world, or good evening if you're in the East. Now, today on Smile Time, you have an open invitation to actually join me live on air. And if you've not been on Smile Time before, if you've just been on other platforms, then just come along to the page. The link's up above. Click that link, and you can join me on screen. And on Smile Time, we can fit 4 people on screen. So if you want to come and try it out, then please do. All you need to do is have earphones and a microphone, and you can come on air. And welcome to everybody who's in the room, and welcome to everybody who's joined in watching. I'm just going to make sure, I'll explain what I'm doing in a moment. Wonderful. Right. I'm actually, I've been using for a couple of weeks a program which is called, if I can find it, LiveLeap. It doesn't have capital I, but LiveLeap is a program that copies a live broadcast from one page to another without you doing anything, which means that I can start the show and it can go out to the LVS17 page. It can go out to the LVS17 group, and it can be on my page as well, and on the Stephen Young video page, and that's without my doing anything. It's got a predetermined route. It's sent out a tweet, and it's done a post on LinkedIn, and I haven't done anything than been talking to you. So if you want to automate your broadcasts and get more viewers, because we unfortunately went down last Thursday around Blubbing for Britain time, and we saw a drop in our viewers, so we know that LiveLeap actually works. We found out the hard way when our show did not get shared, but if you use LiveLeap and you've got a trial, you can test it out. I'm not putting any affiliate links here. Just go to liveleap.com and check it out. Next time you do a live broadcast, it will share it wherever you want it to go, and that can be to another page or to a group. So the broadcast is going to several places at one time. And I'm going to say hello to, I'm going to try and get this right, and we're international. Hello from Canada, and hello David. If you want to pop in on camera, please just say yes, and I'll bring you on camera. And we are live on Facebook. Nobody's watching us at the moment. I'm just going to refresh and find out what's going on. And I'm going to keep talking whilst I do. Strange. When you do some shows, you get a lot of people turning up. When you do other shows, not. And it's a mystery. I mean, obviously, it depends on who's around at the time as to who's going to join you live on air. But on with the show. Now, David can't be with me this week. He's out and about traveling, but there are a couple of things I do want to talk about. LiveLeap, I've already mentioned. The second thing I want to mention today is repurpose.io. Now, again, there's not an affiliate link. You can go to repurpose.io and you can try it out, and you've got a trial of the system. Now, what repurpose.io does is it will share your recorded content from Facebook to YouTube, SoundCloud, a whole range of places you can send your broadcast to, because the live broadcast is only part of the story. What you're actually looking to do is to give your broadcast a second life, because you can put it on YouTube and you can attract an audience on YouTube, and it can be done very effectively. I mean, I put videos from here onto YouTube, but normally what I'd have to do is download the video from Facebook and then upload it to YouTube, all of which takes time. Then I've got to give it a title, I've got to give it the full description, I've got to pull the tags in, and that takes time as well. So to transfer one video can take between 40 minutes and an hour, depending on what video it is. Repurpose.io, all I do now is I go to the video, I type in one tag into the description of the video on Facebook, and automatically it appears on YouTube. And not only does it appear on YouTube, the YouTube is then tweeted out and shared, all magically. So do take a look at repurpose.io. It's coded by Annie Mura, and you'll see Annie live on Facebook, and there's a group for it as well if you check out repurposing. And also there's a program tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. BST, sorry. Tina Shang and I will be live on Facebook talking about repurposing in general. Repurposed, I have part of that, but what we're doing is looking at ways that you can give your content longer life. So if you've got any observations on that, then we'd welcome you to join us live on air at 5 p.m. tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern. And again, that's on Facebook. You'll find it on my page. You'll find it in the LVS17 group. And you're more than welcome to join us. And I want to say hello to Robert. And good afternoon, Robert. Would you like to join me on air, sir, as we talk about getting more people live on air, which is what I'm working my way up to. So I want to say hello. We've had hello from Canada. We now get hello from America because Robert's joined us. And as I was just saying, David is not with us this week. He's traveling. So I've got the show to myself, but I would welcome if anybody wants to join in. And again, I'm just watching the Facebook page. I'm just going to refresh and make sure that the broadcast is live. And it does say it's live. So that is good. So I'm going to close that page and come back here. I'm fine today. I'm fine. The sun is finally out in England, and it's going to be out all week. So it's been a pleasure to go a walk in the sun today and then come back. So Robert's going to join me. So I'm going to invite Robert into the room. And Robert is invited. So I'll take that text off. I shall change the layout. And I'll put that off the screen. And hopefully, so that was it. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm brilliant. We've got good sound and good vision. How are you?
I'm doing good. I broke out the old mic.
Oh, right. Okay. That's good. Yeah, I mean, basically, my thoughts today go to how do we actually encourage people to go live for the first time? Because there's a barrier, isn't there, that people have.
There's a few different things.
Yeah.
One, there's the fear.
Oh, yeah.
The fear factor is always in place where, people are afraid to be on camera. People are afraid they're going to screw up or goof or make a mistake, which to me is part of being human. But I make mistakes every time I go on live. What's the difference?
Yeah, me and you both.
Yeah. I mean, every professional, it doesn't matter. When you are live, something will happen. Nothing is perfect.
Well, we can agree on that. But the thing is that they're taking that first step, and the invitation is that if you want to go live, just do it, because you can do it privately first, can't you?
Just hit the button.
Hit the button, and go privately. When the post starts, set the post to private. Only you can see it then.
You know what is a good method?
Yeah. Okay.
Accountability partner.
Okay.
So like you, me, Molly, Tina, April, doesn't matter who it is, Jeff, it could be anybody, your best friend. You set up a live stream that's just between the two of you.
Yes.
Because now you're live and somebody is watching that you trust. And it's private. And you can go through your whole spiel and somebody's watching it and can give you constructive criticism in the right way. But at the same time, it's getting the fear over somebody's watching you.
That's an excellent idea. And you could do that in a group. Yeah. Set up a group, 2 members, and broadcast into the group. And then you can watch it back as well, because that's the other thing. You've got a recording, haven't you, on Facebook that you can watch back, and having a friend there. You
don't even have to do it for a group, just so you know.
Okay, yeah.
You can actually, whether it's a Belive, a Smile Time, or it doesn't matter which one.
Yeah.
When you push it out to your timeline, you can put it out as a privacy either to yourself or to just one person. So it doesn't have, you don't have to set up a whole group for it.
So when you go to the post, you can just actually
I set up a whole birthday party on Facebook using my personal profile.
Yeah.
And every time I posted about it, I omitted the person who it was for. It's basically blocking that person or blocking everybody except that one person can see the post.
Right. Okay.
Which is fantastic. You don't have to set up a whole group. You don't have to set up another page. You can do it right on your profile. You just set your privacy functions to only this person can see it.
Right. Okay. Job done. Excellent.
Now, the other side of fear, because there's two sides of this now. It's more on a business side, because not all live streaming obviously is business, but there's the fear in general with everybody, but there's also on our parts, you, me, the people that are in this industry, education. Okay, why it's important to be doing things like this.
Okay, I'll bite. Why is it important to be doing things like this? And hello to Jacqueline. Hello to Tina. Tina, if you want to join us on camera, just say yes, or sure, as Robert did. Why is it important to be on live video in 2017?
Well, in my humble opinion, because everybody has their own, right now, before the space gets cluttered, is the prime time to do this, because you will set yourself apart from your competition. And you will be able to, in a 20-minute spread, literally be able to get out to a bulk amount of people. Hello, Miss Tina. You will be able to get out to a bulk amount of people in a short time. The old methods before social media was the traditional media, throw an ad in a paper, or send a mailing out, or dreaded, some people still do it, the old cold calling method, and you might make 10 calls in 20 minutes, whereas you might in 20 minutes get in front of 200 people. Which Indeed. Is better for your situation on a business level, because if you're and then the replay is there to continue to get in front of people.
I totally agree. Hello, Tina.
Hello.
Right. This is Smile Time. Major differences are to the other platform.
Are we not allowed to say the name?
Yeah, we can say Belive.tv.
Oh, okay, because the way you said the other platform.
This is my first time on Smile Time, so.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We can have, so you can see I can direct things. We can have 4 people on screen. So if anybody else joins in the room, we can invite them on. And we're just talking about people going live for the first time. We're covering the problems that people have in terms of the fear of it, and Robert's given a way of doing it so you can just do it with one other person, which we'll recap on later. And at the moment that we're just talking about why you should go live, what are the benefits of going live, and I mean, I've got a long list, but before I get why do you feel that people should go live, Tina?
Well, if you're using Facebook, then you should go live, because Facebook algorithm favors live. So there's literally nothing that you can do that will gain you the same amount of viewership as this. Facebook is always favored video, but it favors live even more. So I was speaking, and I think Robert was watching this morning, speaking with a funeral home firm, and they talked about doing, for the first time, they went live at some event. And he was astounded at how many views and how many comments they received, comparatively speaking, to what they normally post. And I was like, it's only because you were live. That's the only difference.
That's because you've got the opportunity to get interaction, haven't you? you
Yes.
can see what people are saying, and you can respond to it live, either in text or by answering questions.
Yeah, in real time. So, I mean, you can respond to questions, you know, as they come in if you're sitting and watching your post, right? But it's not the same as doing it real time, face to face. So this is the closest thing that you can get to having a client in front of you without actually having them in front of you. So, or a potential client. So, yeah, I mean, if you're not doing live, you're missing the boat. In January, about 11% of businesses were doing live. Now in May, so what, 4 months later,
Yeah,
44%. So you're getting left in the dust already. So
that's why they're even saying by the end of 2018,
this year, by the year, yeah. Are you sure?
80% of social media will be live streaming.
I thought they were saying by the end of this year, it would be 80%.
No, I think there was, well, the earlier projections were end of 2018. It's probably moved up. But then again, there are a lot of people on the fence, and big corporations are not into it yet because they got to go through all their red tape and everything, legal battles and everything they got to do. But as a small business owner, think of it this way. If Facebook is pushing live streaming and video to reach more people than a normal post, for you to take the time to do a 20-minute, half-hour post, live stream, whether it's once a week, twice a week, daily, whatever you choose to do, you are now ahead of the curve. And the financial side of it is not such a huge output. It's your time. And I understand time is money, but you're not outlaying graphic designers. You're not outlaying all this information and everything. But what's happening is you get to push your message, your product, your services, your ideas, your thoughts, your opinions. It doesn't matter what it is, to the public faster and be able to compete with larger companies at a reduced level of income, at a reduced level of expense.
Well, and as you said, a lot of large corporations are going to take more time with onboarding because they have to go through red tape. So this actually gives you a small window to have an advantage over those larger competitors as a small business. And if you need to drop me, Stephen, because you're hearing all kinds of noise from my end, my husband is back and he's installing a sink. So if it's too much noise, because I can't tell on my end, please feel free to drop me out.
I think we're okay with that. As long as we know what's going on, that you're okay. I mean, that's a true thing. You know,
there's no chainsaw massacre or anything.
But you see, Stephen, this all goes back to us being in the industry and the others that are in the industry. Education. We got to get over the fears, and we have to educate.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What's yours?
You know, it's always good to be an innovator in your industry. And because technology is making things like this, what we're doing here is really a full-scale broadcast that would have cost you, even a year ago, $10,000, because I did it a year ago for a small local, hyper-local news agency. So we bought all of the equipment we needed to go live, to live stream, you know, out in the field, spent about 10 grand. And here I am a year later, and I can do it out of the box. You know, I have $300 worth of equipment around me right now that I didn't even have to have. I just wanted to upgrade from where I was when I started doing it from my desktop here. So you have a huge advantage to be innovative and creative at a much lower cost to you than what it would have been even a year ago, never mind 10 years ago. So if you're not taking advantage of that and encouraging your staff and or doing it yourself, training your staff to take advantage of social media and digital in general, really are missing a huge opportunity. And people talk about time and money, and Robert and I hear this a lot. Well, I don't have time to do social media. Yeah, you do. What did you do before social media came along? How much time did that take?
It's not even that. How many times, and for whoever's watching, I don't even know how many people are in the room or in the replay or whatever else. How many times do you pick up your smartphone throughout the day and check your Facebook or your Twitter or your LinkedIn? Take all that time, cut it in half, and do one live stream.
Yeah, and live streaming takes so much less time than blogging. Like, used to be that you would have to blog or you would have to spend time crafting your post for whatever social media platform you're using. And usually that requires some kind of writing and some kind of design skill to make a graphic to go with it. Right now, you don't have to do that. Just hop on live. You're good.
And then you could turn that video, which you guys will talk into tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Into other things. Actually, Stephen, I'm going to send you a chart that I have on one of my blogs.
Oh, brilliant.
Which shows how you can take a 15-minute live stream and turn it into a month's worth of content.
Yeah, we'd be interested in seeing that. Yeah.
I did a blog about a month and a half ago. That's why when you said that, I was like, I got to send it to him. He's going to want to see this.
We'll tweet it out for you as well. I mean, it's just team effort. Because, the other thing that's wonderful about live video, as opposed to blogging, is that if you've got to write a blog, you've got to think about what you're going to...
Well, hold on a minute, honey. I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you mute me on your end?
No.
No? Okay, my husband's about to use a skill saw. It's going to be really loud for like 1 second.
Okay.
I didn't know if she was calling him honey or us honey.
Right. I'm going to invite Tina back in now.
I was going to say, Tina could just let us know. Can you mute somebody?
No, I can't mute people, unfortunately.
Can we mute ourselves?
No.
Who owns Smile Time? We hear there's the button you're missing. Mute on both ends.
Yeah. Okay, I may have been... All right, okay. Right, okay. I'm going to invite you just a moment. Let me close that. And we're in full flow then. This is live broadcasting at its best. And I'm going to invite Tina back in.
Like we said earlier, we're all human.
Yeah, oh, indeed. And you might have to refresh, Tina. That's probably a good idea. And then come... no, you're okay. We're okay. Right, so we're just going to rejig the screen again. And change the layout.
Tina, did you hear what I said, though, or was the saw on where I said I didn't know if you were calling us honey or him honey? I was like, Steven, we're getting personal with Tina.
Well, I do call people hun all the time because I'm Southern, and that's what we do. So it's possible.
Right. Right. So it did come through, but we only got the beginning of it, and Antonio is quite enjoying our fun today. And the point I got to basically was to say, if you're writing a blog, you've got to think of a title, you've got to think of all the text, you've got to write it, you've got to put it up on your WordPress site. If you've got WordPress, then you've got to promote it.
You forgot a part.
Okay.
Create graphics.
True.
Which, that's like a half hour to an hour.
Yep. And then it's all your own work. Whereas as we're proving today, if you come live on video, it's a group situation in that creating the content becomes the job of your friends rather than just you. And that lightens the load. It also makes it more interesting for people. Yeah, because you get him 3 opinions today, not just the one. So I was going to say,
I think people in business, they think they overthink things. Like, they're like, well, I have to create this show. So, then I have to sit down and I have to write a script and I have to plan all this out. And that's not true. Number one. Number two, you have people, presumably, right? You have people who work for you that have areas of expertise. And so they can come on and speak about what it is that they do. People love to see behind the scenes things. So even if you have something where you're a boutique furniture store, right? I would love to see behind the scenes of how they create a certain patina on furniture or how they repair or restore something. So yeah, I think people just overthink it and they really make it more complicated than it has to be.
And it's also, everybody's got this illusion that it has to be a show. Like there's got to be production and you got to have the great camera and you got to have all this stuff. Listen, take your phone, hit start button, go on and talk about something that's going on in your industry, business, or anything else. You don't have to have a name for your show. You don't have to have this weekly thing all the time.
But you do need to be consistent.
Consistently going on. Yes, I agree, Tina. But you don't have to have, okay, every Wednesday from 10 o'clock, I'm going to do the Tina Stevens show. And what we're going to do, because too many people are so caught up on creating a show and they've never broadcasted yet. Get on and broadcast first.
Well, and you need to get in the mindset of being comfortable with going live anytime. Because when you're in a business, there may be something that happened. I mean, you know, the president could walk into your store. And if you don't have the mindset that, hey, I can go live and show this to everybody right now, you're going to miss that. Sure, you'll have pictures, I'm sure, to post at some point, but that's not the same as having that live interaction of whatever happens to be going on at that time. And so if you get used to and you have that consistency of going live, I think it's always in your forebrain then. So you have the mindset that when you come across something that's exciting, and you'll know what your audience likes, but you'll learn from doing this what your audience likes. Robert's absolutely right. All you need is your cell phone to go directly live.
Just to start.
Don't worry about the lighting. Now, if you get addicted like we have and you love it, then you start doing this, buying these fancy things, you know, and spending money. But in the beginning, none of us did that. We just went on with what we had. I had like an 8-year-old webcam when I first came on, and you know, and a not a very good mic.
I started 2.5 years ago on my iPhone 5 when Periscope came out. Those were my live streams. It was only on your phone. You didn't have, you could set your lighting up and stuff like that, but you didn't have the software. Smile Time wasn't existing yet. You couldn't broadcast to anything else. It was straight on Periscope. And now, because of the inventions and obviously the technology is advanced and everything else, the things you can do, even still from your cell phone, are unbelievable. And what's great about the cell phone is you can take it on your journey of whatever you're doing out and about. Realtors that are real estate agents that are out and about doing things. Stephen, when he decides to finally get out of the house and actually do something besides sitting at that desk and doing a show.
I've just told you earlier, I was out today, out and about in town, because the sun has arrived in the UK.
But did you live stream it?
No.
See?
I would have watched, because I went to London once and I miss it every day. It's like my favorite place in the world. So anywhere in the UK, I would love to see.
I shall think about it. I shall definitely think about it. But I'm into desktop streaming. I am into desktop streaming. That's what I enjoy, because you get used to the quality of the audio. But there's nothing to prevent anybody going live, and I just want to take Robert's suggestion one step forward. When you go live for the first time, just do it. I mean, there's no better way than just doing it, and Robert's given us a couple of ways of doing that. When you find that you enjoy doing this, then it's good to have a show, because it gives a central point, a reference point for people to go to. I mean, we've got this show, the LVS17 show, which comes out of a Facebook group, which David, John, and I run. So we're tied to a Facebook group. This is a live version of the group itself, and people can come and ask questions. Tomorrow, when Tina and I are on at 12 p.m. Eastern, we're talking about repurposing, which is something I did a Google search last week, and nobody's talking about repurposing. It's a big topic, and we're looking forward to doing that tomorrow, and for Animura to join us next week as well. So plenty going on there. And whilst I'm doing advertising, the next show up is on Wednesday. Just forgive me a moment. I'm always getting told off for not doing calls to action, so I might as well get them all at one time. On Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. BST is the One Stop Live show with myself and Irene, and we'll be talking about something which is going to become increasingly important, because the question that people always ask is, how do you make money out of live streaming? And that is the $64,000 question, and that's where One Stop Live comes in, because you can set up a profile on One Stop Live, you can offer your services, and you can cost it, and then people can go there, find it, hire you. There's a 10% commission from One Stop Live, but the funds go direct into your PayPal account. And all I can say is it works, because I got the 90% So it is a great place, because the thing is, there are two ways to approach this. One, it becomes part of your business. I mean, I'm a programmer, and therefore I'm sat at the computer all day writing programs and supporting people. So it's a logical place for me to be. So this is the live video is a logical extension, because I'm around the computer anyway, and I quite enjoy the live video, as you can tell. But making money from this is the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of us. Go ahead, Robert.
Go ahead. No, ladies first.
I was going to say, yeah, I think a lot of us have not even seriously thought about how to make money with it yet. You know, been using it more of a promotional tool, and sometimes just for entertainment, for fun, right? But in terms of monetizing the video itself, or what you're doing as a production or a producer, I still haven't filled out my OneStop.live stuff yet. I've gone and looked at it, but I haven't done it yet. So that's on my to-do list over here for this week.
Brilliant. Well, that would be good, because I mean, it is easy and straightforward to do. It's an extra shop window. And if you look at the price of landing pages, they are horrendous, and this is being offered for free.
That's a good point. I started out doing web development back in the late 90s, so I know Joomla and WordPress, and could probably even hand code if I needed to. But yeah, most people don't know how to do that. So having that landing page for you, so you just send someone straight there, and plus they can go ahead and purchase your services directly through the site, so you don't have to handle invoicing and money and all that. You know, you just do what you have to do, your job, and get paid. That's a lot of steps taken out of the mix there for people who don't have that knowledge.
It is, because that you're agreeing the services, because there's a sort of a contract there as to what you're going to provide. You're agreeing the price, and when the person who's hiring you is happy, they pay, and they can pay you and should pay you if they know you before the event, which is good. So in terms of, I mean, you can do it I've done it for producing a show, hosting a show, and providing one-to-one training. So those are three ways in which you can do it. And when I mean, Robert, what are your thoughts on
Well, I was going to say, you know, people feel like it's a challenge with live streaming. You know, how do I make money at this? Well, let's take live streaming out of the loop. How do you make money in your business? Okay. Is it a challenge?
Offer value, right?
Is it a challenge? Well, you need to get out and meet people. You need to get out and talk about your services and products. Well, it's the same challenge. It's just getting on a camera. It's getting on your phone and doing it versus going to the networking meetings, the Chamber of Commerce, the meeting people, listening to people at the restaurant with the table next door and handing your card because you were over listening while you were eating. Just all these different things that are going on. So the challenges have not changed. Our technology and ability to market ourselves has changed. Now let's use that ability to do the same things we were doing before in another avenue and it's another tool to throw in your belt to get out more into doing it. So everything you did before is the same. Now we can do it from our desktop, from our phone, you know, employees can help out, all this type of stuff. So that's what I was going to chime in with. You know, everybody's like, you know, oh God, the challenge of using live stream. And I'm like, well, what'd you do before social media?
Well, and I think the problem is, unless you're just using this truly for entertainment, which a lot of us do, we just simply enjoy going live and talking with our friends. And so, you know, some people never have their own shows. And for me, for a long time, never did anything of my own. I just come and hopped in here with you guys and talked about the things that I like to do. But so unless you're just looking at it from an entertainment perspective, Robert made me lose my train of thought with his silliness over there.
Well, because you said something, I know.
Yeah. But anyway, unless you're using it that way, I think it really is just mindset. So do you have a purpose? What is your purpose? Why are you going live? Are you going live for entertainment? Are you going live to promote and to gain exposure? Are you going live to educate or to train? I think that's something that people are missing the boat on as well. This is a great tool for educating and for training. And by educating, I mean educate your consumers. So if you are For example, we did a show this morning about pre-arrangement for the funeral homes. And so, you know, that's a good opportunity for them to, in a safe environment where people don't feel pressured to buy anything, just come on and explain the benefits and educate their consumers on why they should, you know, use their service. And so I think you kind of have to have a plan and have some kind of strategy in place for what you're doing with your live.
In a moment, we'll be joined by Leland.
Maybe.
I thought that was Leland.
That's his test card. Right.
I gotta get my video straightened out. I got the wrong video playing.
We've got the voice now.
When I saw that picture that I just upvoted, I was like, "Oh, Leland's coming on."
I'll be there. I just gotta get around to it.
So Jacqueline says that she used to do a show from a radio website, and she has far more exposure when doing live streaming.
Mm-hmm. Because that goes back, Tina, to what you said. Facebook is pushing out the live streaming to people. So if you do it on your business page, you know, profile's profile, but if you do it on your business page, you will have a better reach with your live stream than you do any other post on there. It will be pushed out further.
And I gotta say, I've noticed if you are thoughtful when crafting the title and description, that will go a long way in search. Facebook does not have a great search feature. However, if I go search live streaming right now, we come up for live streaming in Facebook search.
And I thought that was you live, Leland. I was like, oh God, the Secret Service just showed up.
I can't help myself sometimes.
And then the song came in my head. I wear my sunglasses.
Right? I don't have them here. I don't have my sunglasses on today. Sorry. That's like my trade nowadays. No, this is a great topic. I mean, this is one of those things that I think all of us have considered or attempted to produce. I mean, I've done some productions myself that I've been paid for and paid very well for. But there are other aspects to the live broadcasting that haven't been looked at. There's things that we could be doing, like product reviews. Webinars are a thing that have been around for years that people still use. It's a live streaming concept, but now we can do it a little differently because everybody has their own web streaming platform that they can go to and produce a webinar on the fly. Products are the big thing I think Robert mentioned, and even services. How did you sell yourself before? Should be the same thing. Now you've got a better tool to work with. It's the big thing. So I think I would have to agree with all of you. And Tina, you've found some niches that I've never considered. You know, obviously, you've got people. I was
watching it this morning, the funeral homes.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's like one of those that you would never consider. But honestly, live streaming is probably the best way for those people to reach an audience. It's amazing.
They're so community oriented. You know, it only makes sense. You're reaching out.
And everybody is a consumer at some point.
They are.
And then you've got people like Steven and others who use the technology for the Udemy courses to create video while they're live or even outside of the live broadcast. And you can make money by selling your talent. So that's another thing that DIY is huge. Everybody wants to do it themselves. So if you can show them how to do it themselves, they'll happily pay you to learn that. Even though they can go to YouTube, it's the specifics. Like exactly how to produce a show is one of the biggest shows we ever did one time on Blab was, so you want to co-host your own show or you want to host your own show.
I remember that one.
So many people come through that show. It was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people came through within a couple hours while we produced that show. And if we'd have had anything to monetize that day, we probably would have done really well, but we didn't have anything. It was just, we wanted to show people how to do it. And when we did, it just went gangbusters. So those are things we need to really focus on. I like the whole one-stop live concept. I think it's got a little work to be done on the format because I saw recently some people posted a lot of different services that they do, and it took over like the whole page for that one person, which doesn't fit real well with the concept. You should be able to see everyone that has a service and give them reasonably the same amount of real estate as everyone else that's providing a service. So I think there's some things that could be fixed up over there, but it's a neat idea.
It is a good
I'm
idea.
sure more will come before long.
I'm just curious because the way I touched real fast, and I wanted to ask you the question then. So, because you've been involved really with internet marketing for a while.
Yeah.
And so what did you do before live streaming? This is what I'm saying to people, because they, you know, Stephen brought up the question, how do you monetize? People always wonder, how do you monetize? And that's why I said, well, what'd you do before? So what did you do before social media?
It's the same delivery. It's still a call to action. You either called people on the phone and asked them to go somewhere to look at a website, or you emailed them something that led them to another landing page, or you had so many other ways. You still had social media for a little while that played in where you could at least communicate with people through email, through online IMs.
Blogs.
You know, IRC was such a big thing years ago where people would connect with
We're showing our age.
I know, right? It's kind of terrible. Well,
AOL,
what did we do?
AOL chat.
AOL, I was just going there. AOL, and what's the other one? Prodigy. Those are names that you don't hear anymore. So, yeah, there were all those things, but it's still, man, and even, believe it or not, regular mail is still a huge way to make sales, whether people want to believe that.
Email is still great. Email campaigns still work really well.
Yeah.
You mentioned call to action, and I see this when I have new clients that come on. You know, of course, we peruse their page and see what they've done in the past, right? Mm-hmm. And they either completely fail to do a call to action, and you'll see them boost and spend money on posts and on advertising for a post that has no call to action. And oftentimes no message. It'll be, I've seen them post like the little motivational quotes, the image with the motivational quote. Yeah. You know, spend $200 to post that. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing with this? Why, or what are they supposed to do? What is your point B, right?
I'll give you a little trick. There's a process that people use a lot in advertising on Facebook campaigns that not a lot of people think about, and that is investigate your niche before you actually apply a product. What you could do is simply come up with an idea, like, I have this idea, I want to sell this $10 product to everybody, and do a Facebook ad that promotes the idea of the product and say, would you buy this? If I had it for you right now, would you pay $10 for this product?
Focus group.
And send that out and see who responds. If you don't get the response rate that you're looking for, say 15, 20, 30%, then there's no sense even investing in that type of product or service because nobody wants it. That's one of the biggest things people fail to do is know whether or not the product they're developing is even wanted in the market. So one of the things we want to try to do is feel out that market first and say, okay, people will do this too. They'll go out and they'll do a webinar. They'll say, I'm going to do a course. It's going to cost you $495. And we're going to start in a month. And we're going to do this course. And you're going to get a new video every 2 days or whatever. And you're going to learn how to do this process. They don't even have the course ready yet. Because why put together a course that you might not be able to sell for what you want for it? Just go ahead and do the webinar. Get the people to sign up for the course. Then create the course. Then follow through with what you're going to train them that you told the promise that you were going to make. Now make the promise and fulfill it. So
I think the definition Leland's using is like research, development, and strategy.
That's crazy talk. Who does that?
Why would you want to plan ahead?
Well, when you talk focus groups, though, I think something you have to keep in mind is just because you didn't get the response you were expecting doesn't necessarily mean there's no audience or no buyer for that. It could just be that you failed to craft the message correctly and or to target your audience. Now, Facebook advertising, and it can be a whole show on its own, but it's inexpensive. You can do split testing very simply and very inexpensively there to find out what works best with your audience and or to reach the audience that you intend. And so, you know, I had someone ask me about promoting a live show. So they're like, so they planned this event Friday. They put a thing out on their Facebook. The event was Monday, and I wondered why nobody came on Monday. Yeah. Like, okay, well, you told me Friday. I saw it on the weekend. I have to work Monday. I have plans already. So how am I going to get there? Number one. Yep. So he's like, so should I promote it like a month out? And I was like, sure, promote it a month out. Take your budget that you spent promoting that, which was something like $160 that he spent promoting this post on Friday for an event on Monday, and split the money up. So, you know, do half of it a month out, and then take the other half and split it between a week out and 2 days out. And then people know about the event, can plan for it. You've given them a reminder, and then you've given them a second reminder. So hopefully they'll show up. They're not going to show up if you tell them the day before the event. I don't care how much money you spend on the ad. So yeah, do some planning, do some research. Those are all good things.
And I think that's a good use for automation when it comes to social media. If you want to set up events and actually broadcast a daily, weekly, monthly, whatever that goes out, like, and that was one of the things Stephen and I know was not a good thing that we ever did. We were like 30 minutes before the show, here we come across the pond, we're going to do it. And that was all we had for an announcement. We would say the week before, come see us next Tuesday. And there were people who were avid followers, but there was just a small handful. So what we should have done better was promote the show monthly, weekly, like you said, and then once or twice just before the show starts. And so many people have failed at that. We've been teaching this for 2.5 years almost now on live streams, where you got to promote on 3 channels, you know, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube if necessary, but you can't really promote on YouTube much. But LinkedIn is another place that people have had a lot of success promoting live video.
And Instagram as well, depending on your audience.
Oh, that's true too.
Kind of helps to know who your audience is, so you know which platforms are best to use. But
all it takes is, I mean, I use Canva. Going in, making a graphic,
saving your template,
saving the template so you can change it each week if you have a guest or this or that, whatever title, the time, whatever, and throwing it up there, throwing it, and with a link. Now that we can schedule live streams ahead of time, where, you know, a year ago we weren't scheduling. You just went live and just you made a thing out on a Canva maybe, and you said, "Hey guys, I'll be on Tuesday at 1 o'clock talking about this," and there was no link. Now, with the scheduling factors in some of these services, you can actually give them the link to the show every time you put that out there. I've actually used it because Leland just mentioned it with LinkedIn. I've actually used it with LinkedIn where I had the link already, and I would put up a graphic and say, "Please join me. I'm interviewing so-and-so, blah, 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 blah." And I gave them the link that they can actually sign up free to get a reminder. And that's the promoting.
Yeah. And not only that, go ahead, Tina. Go ahead.
I was going to say, all this does take time. So we're like, you know, we're saying it like y'all, you create the graphic, you throw it up there and you promote it. It does take time, you know, and that, so I don't want to kind of come off as saying, oh, it's easy and it doesn't take any time, because it does, but it's worth your time. You've got to consider the other ways that you do promotion. And so we'll go back to funeral homes, because we've already talked about that's one of my niches. They spend tons of man hours out at events in the community. The way that I made the connection that got into this industry is I was working for a newspaper, and this guy that worked at the funeral home was at everything I was at for the newspaper. Like everywhere I was, there he was. And he was out doing community outreach. That's tons and tons of time and man hour that they're putting into doing exactly the same thing we're doing right here, except you don't have to leave your office to do it.
Yeah, right.
Well, I guess in their industry, the big thing is more that, and I'm not trying to make a joke of it, so please don't take it that way. It's more of, you don't know when your next client is coming in the door. And I'm trying not to make it as a joke, Leland.
But Facebook.
Hey, people die every day. What can we do? You know,
doing live though on Facebook, because of the demographics that live here on Facebook, they really are going to reach their audience, their customers, because they're here. And a lot of times those people are shut-ins. You know, they can't get out and about and go to these community events. They can reach them right here. And we actually are seeing more and more death notices. So people will actually send a Facebook message to say, "Hey, you know, grandma died. What do I do now?"
Oh, wow.
And that's coming through a Facebook message.
Yeah.
So people are embracing technology. Don't think that they're not here and that they're not comfortable using it, because they are.
Well, I want to go back to what Tina said earlier. You know, when we were talking before Leland came on, and Leland's heard the word, I'm sure, a million times. It's about consistency. Well, if you are not consistently, quote, promoting your company, it goes back to the old out of sight, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a weekly show or broadcasting, and you're doing your promoting, and you're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing just for your business, that's how you stay in front of them. That's the key. And, you know, obviously you're giving value, you're giving content, you're marketing with content and all these fun terms that we all like to use in business and everything. But if you're continuously involved in them, and Leland knows me from Blab, and Stephen and Tina don't, and Leland, would probably, he'd jump on one of my Blabs going, "Oh, you're on again? It's only been an hour."
Exactly.
Since your last one.
We spent a lot of time out there. I'll give you that.
Who, me or you?
All of us. All of us. Steven spent a lot of time on that platform also.
Well, I was just about to say, Robert might have missed me there, but I was there.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of shows began.
It's that consistency of people seeing you. I mean, why do people still use billboards?
Whoa.
Mark's working on the sink again.
My husband's working on the sink. You can take me out if you need to.
Oh, that's all right. You can always... That was one thing we don't have here, which we wish we had, was a mute button for each other.
We said that earlier. It's one thing missing from Smile Time.
Yeah, I wish I could mute myself when he's doing that. But we spend so much time down here.
If you have a headset, Tina, if you have a headset, can't you mute it on your headset?
Sometimes. Can you hear me? You can still hear me. I don't use that mic.
I was thinking on a headset there is a mute button. That'll kill the mic right there.
Well, the mic is this, so no.
It's all about the consistency and
that big thing. That big old thing doesn't have a mute button on it. That mic that you have, really?
Not that I know of.
I mean, mine's got a mic. Mine's got the switch is not a mute, but I can lower my volume of my mic.
It may have. I haven't played with it, but so back to what Robert was saying about
excuse me,
and using social media. If you think about where your audience is and how much money, so if we think of money as time, so you're spending money on your advertising on television, newspaper, trade magazines, wherever it is that you're spending your advertising dollars. If you think of that in terms of time and visibility, how many people do you see a day reading a magazine or a newspaper?
Not many.
How many do you see on this?
Everybody.
In the shopping, wherever they're on this all the time. This is where you need to spend your time / money is on digital. People have these in their hand all day long.
I was on a date last week. She didn't put it down.
I don't know who.
Wow, some date.
I don't know.
I didn't know if it was me or just that's her.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like the older generation are cutting out their newspaper subscriptions, and part of that is because they are also going digital. In fact, one of the things that they're seeing in nursing home is a repetitive stress injury from them doing this on their tablet. So that's an actual thing.
That's right.
But anyway, so if you think about where the eyes are, they're not on newspapers, and newspapers are just, especially small hyperlocal newspapers, we're losing them because of the changes in the industry. So,
and there's even more.
I give it 20 years. There won't be any more newspapers printed.
You're probably right. And they'll be electronic, but they'll be online.
Because the reason is because yes, they're still printed because there's still a
sector of people who read them.
Yeah, thank you, because I didn't want to say the other words. There's a small section that's slowly disappearing and going to Tina's clients that still read the paper.
Yeah.
But as that filters out.
There's still elders out there reading it. Yeah. The elders still read the paper.
Well,
as that filters down, it's more and more digital. And when those millennials literally take over, it's all digital and that's it.
Well, let me just touch on one thing, Tina, because I got to leave here anyway. I got to take my granddaughter out. The one thing that people tend to forget, because we're always in social media, we're in Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're doing all these things. There's a lot of other technologies that are coming out outside of email and newsletters. Okay. One thing that I've discovered works really well is as you draw people to your show, if you can get them to sign up for notifications and get them on your mailing list so that you can promote them with the newsletter is awesome when it comes to live streaming because it allows you to not only promote your shows, but the products and services that you have available at the same time, so that when you send out a quick blurb to people via your email system and say, look, I'm going live on Friday, be happy to join me. This is what I'm going to be talking about. You can give them a pre-show almost ahead of time. And these are things I'm just looking into. I haven't done them yet myself personally. I do the newsletter to wrap up for the month, but I haven't done anything for the promotional end of things. And then you've got IM bots that are going to start really stepping up, and you're going to see the open rates on IM bots are so much larger than what they're experiencing. Like I get 13 to 20% open rates on email, but when you look at these IM bots, they're literally getting up to 80% open rates on these things because people are right there in Facebook. That's going to be another way to promote shows real soon, is using these bots. So
well, they already are.
Well,
yeah, I see using ManyChat actually.
Yes, that's
you
one
can
of them.
embed the thing in your website that tells people, that gives people the option to go ahead and to be notified for your shows. So I see people using ManyChats really cleverly now. I think people are going to get sick of that. I really do.
They are.
Yeah, I think I'm
Eventually,
seeing that already.
See, I'm not using it that way. I use ManyChat just for keywords while I'm live streaming if they'd like to get more information.
Yep.
That's the way I see using the bots, because that's a way to get them to sign up for something and say, you know, hey, I got this new program. It's all about this, this, this. If you guys type Green Day into the chat, information will be set up for you so that you can find out more information about it instead of pushing the live type of situation.
Yeah. And it's the same, really, it's the same thing as putting a link in and saying, hey, go sign up for my newsletter. But,
and that's the biggest answer.
But you don't have to send them anywhere.
Yeah, just to say it. Most people finish their shows and forget to simply say, go find me over here, or go subscribe to my next newsletter, or go check me out on Friday where I'm going to be doing this broadcast. Steven does a wonderful job of announcing his shows every week. And I know Tina does the same. But there are a lot of the new broadcasters who come out here and go, okay, that's it for today. It's been great. Thanks for coming by. We'll see you next time. Bye. And they cut out the video, and that's it. That's what needs to be taught, I think, to a lot of the people.
An opportunity lost, a call to action. Don't be reticent, just do it. So if you like today's show, type LVS17 on Facebook and go and like the page, join the group, and do everything like that. Before we do wind up, I just want to mention one thing. Do you remember stage 10, Leland?
Yeah, I saw you were broadcasting from there this morning, and I've talked with Jeremy or Jody, whatever his name is, over there at stage 10. It looks like they're starting to open up a little bit over there.
They're starting to open up again. I'll just take that because it's stage 10 is as many as you want on screen, but going to YouTube. Yes. So there's no. I mean, it does go to Facebook, but I mean that ain't sewn up. So if you wanted to go to YouTube, you wanted to go 4 up on screen, show movies, show slides, then stage 10 is the way to go. It's still in beta, and I'm testing this week, Leland.
I'm going to be testing LiveStream as a Foursquare also this week, because I figured it out finally. I've tried it out and gotten it to work. It's a web-based. Honestly, it was built by some of the people who produced OBS and some other technical platforms out there. This is now a browser-driven encoder. It's similar to using OBS in your browser. And you have all these other features like lower thirds and extra cameras and overlays and all kinds of really cool stuff. You can play videos, you can do desktop sharing, everything, and it's totally free. It's a little more technical than what Belive would be like or Smile Time would be like, because you can manipulate the layout and you can update it as you go. But we're going to do a Foursquare this week and see how well it works. We've had a little bit of sync issues with video and audio in the past, but they've been brushing it up a little bit. That's also going to be one to watch for, I think. It's going to really take things by storm.
Yeah, competition is good. Anytime there's competition in the industry, it drives the competitors to step up their game and stay on top of things. So I think that's good. And I'm excited about trying some of the other platforms as well. I want to go back to newsletters real quick, Leland, because I want to ask you guys what you think of this. So essentially, newsletters is just it's people have opted in to receive presumably content that's not going to go anywhere else, right? So it's just for your newsletter. Now that we have the ability to create a group from our business page, so it's connected to our page.
Yes, very good.
I see that as essentially a newsletter. I can, join the group. We'll send you exclusive content, exactly the same as a newsletter, except now I don't have to craft a newsletter and email it. True. I can just do it in the group. So,
and you can always just create PDF files that are accessed through the actual group itself. It's really no different. It's simply an email with some graphic content with some text and some links. That's all you're looking to provide. No different than a Facebook post or a blog post. Really, I've actually generated my newsletters primarily from blog posts that I've done in the past, and then I use RSS feeds to create the newsletter automatically. I don't actually do any production of a new newsletter. I just write articles, and then at the end of the month, there's synopsis at the end, and everybody can go back and review the articles. But now I'm taking a different approach. I'm starting to just do a quick write-up of what's been going on for the month. I would like to take that to a weekly level and simply come out and say, okay, this is what's going on in live streaming for the week. You can find me here on this day, here on that day, or you can touch base with those you want to share other information for. Like Tina, if you're into this is where people can cross promote. And that's something that's not taken really, it's taken too lightly, I think, right now. Cross promotion is so huge. Your niche may not cover everything someone else's niche might cover, but your viewers might also be part of someone else's niche. So why not share that? And hopefully when it comes to reciprocity, we should all be considering that. If someone shares your show, you should be oversharing their show. It's just simple courtesy. And that brings a lot more attention to your shows when you have other live streamers seeing other shows.
Yeah. I think the Belivers are great about that.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
really good about it doesn't even have, they're not even looking for reciprocating. They just want to share the shows that are being done on this platform and other people's work. And so I think that's great. But I think doing the group as opposed to doing a newsletter, and there's nothing that says you can't do both. But the point is, I'm always thinking, how do I reach the people on the platform they're on without taking them somewhere else? And we already know that people prefer to consume information in bite-sized pieces of video, right? They prefer video in small, short pieces. And so to me, it just makes sense that you keep your audience right there, create the group that goes with your business page, send that unique content over to the group.
It's a great idea. That's how Facebook groups have been used for a long time. And we've developed several that have gone very far and created a lot of stir as to whether they were monetizable or not. It's similar to what we're doing over with Worldwide Live right now. This group is not intended to be monetized. It's a group of people coming in from Pakistan that want to live stream, but the intention isn't to start sending them links to buy things or sending them links to sell them services. What we're hoping to do is create a network of individuals who will align with others that are in their niches and simply connect. And that way, if I meet a civil engineering student from Pakistan whose boss is this and needs that and what have you, we've got these connections that we've made in another country that help us not only understand the culture, but also work with them to help them understand our culture. So it's more of a peace process really for us in this endeavor than it is to try to monetize this model. It's not. Sometimes it's not always about monetization. It's always about
and the newsletter isn't necessarily about. A lot of times newsletters are going out to people who already are clients, right? So it's an opportunity to tell them about new services or new products or just to give them something to say thank you for being my client or my customer. But the difference is Facebook groups have been around for a really long time. They've been used in lots of ways, including ways that have been monetized. But the difference is now, and only recently, have you been able to connect that to your business page. You just name it the same as your business page, but now it actually connects to your business page, and you can go post as your business there. And before you could not do that.
Yeah, I like that part of it. That's huge. Then anything you do gets sent. Go ahead, Stephen. I got to take off anyway. But
all right. Okay. Well, on that note, first of all, I'd like to thank Robert for the link, and Tina and I will.
Yes, I sent you and Tina the link.
Yep, appreciate that. Just to say, my call to action today, as I've hosted the show, is that Jeff Adams is live on belive.tv at 3 p.m. Eastern, and Ross Brand and I and Jeff look forward to seeing you there. That's a show that has taken off and has got a good following, and it's just fun to do. Well, this has been.
I was going to say, now I need to do a call to action too, because we have we have Belive Buzz tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is for the Belivers group. So if you're not part of the Belivers group, come and join us and start live streaming.
Is that your first one, Tina, for that show?
It is, yeah.
All right, very cool. Well, good luck with that. And if anybody ever needs any of the resource links to all these sites that are out here, I just have them kind of organized in one big spot. It's not to teach, train, or anything of that just yet, but it's set up so that if you're looking for the software we talk about, the hardware we talk about, or the streaming sites, just go check out BCB Live. You'll find them all within the menu structure, and you can go find those things that we speak of on a regular basis. Thanks for having me, Stephen. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, Leland and Robert. your call to action, please, before we go.
Hit the button and go live.
That's how we
That's
began.
what the topic was. That's my call to action. Just pick up your phone and start talking.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you around.
Tina,
Take care,
Leland, Robert, thank you.
Bye-bye.
And see you during the week, no doubt. To everybody who's watched today, thank you. We look forward to seeing you again same time next week. And thank you for watching. Bye for now. And when I click this button, we'll all disappear. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.